It's all the same.
No, it's not. Those two are
It's all the same.
It's all
Nick.
in the same area.
It's all in the
man.
same area. Slide. It's only about an inch difference.
What's going on? What's going on, peoples? How everybody doing? It is episode 102 of the I.O.W. Sports Show. As always, I'm your
What
boy,
up, though?
Wildcard Mar. To the left, Detroit Man, the man with the Grandmaster Plan, and our favorite Nicker, Nick Shine, is in the building. Oh man, happy Monday!
It's my nickel.
Happy Monday to everybody. I hope everybody's having a fantastic start to their work week. Let's get all the preliminary shit out the way before we start cutting up. Y'all going over to the website, www.ioftenwonder19.com. That is the website. Get all the information of every last social media platform you're associated with. Of course, if you're feeling real charitable, help us out with some of these expenses on what it takes to build a media conglomerate. Go ahead and drop something over there in the old Patreon.
All right.
Definitely go cop some merch. As you can see, me and Mel rocking some I.O.W. sports merch. Rocking the I.O.W. bird. That's on there. Of course, some I Off the Wonder podcast, our sister podcast merch is on there. And then, of course, Detroit Mail has a very exclusive J. Edwin collection on there. So definitely check that out. Most importantly, going over to your respective app store, please go download the I.O.W. Network radio app. A lot of great stuff on there. Be sure to visit our YouTube, Facebook page. Hit the bell notification and get you the notifications every time we come on air, like today. So now that we got that, let's get down to business of what we came to do, man. What a crazy fucking weekend in football. Crazy weekend in football.
Man.
Bam almost lost.
It was horrible. NFL was horrible.
Look, when you have a Sunday like yesterday, it brings out the conspiracy theorist in me. Like, is this supposed to be happening? Like, the only winner yesterday was the Vegas house. Vegas won big yesterday. Nobody hit on anything. If anybody picked the Giants, well, I did. If anybody picked the Giants beating the Raiders, you pretty sure you won a good chunk of change.
You probably live in New York.
Yeah, probably live in New York, and you probably live in your mama's basement. You're about to get out, though. But you're about to get out, though, because you made some money. Other than that, nobody made no damn money in Vegas. But
right.
I want to start off today's conversation, fellas, with, of course, the OBJ situation. He finally whined, bitch, complained, and negotiated his contract out. So I kind of want to read a little details in the situation on how it all came down. So as part of the settlement of the rework contract before it is terminated, the Browns agreed to remove the final 2 years of Beckham's deal, meaning he now is scheduled to be a free agent after this season. So keep that in mind. Per sources, Beckham had 2 years left on his deal. Additionally, any team that claims Beckham would inherit the $7.25 million of the salary for the remainder of the season. The cost is considered high for a player that now will be considered a rental. With this being the last year of his contract, the Browns had wanted to lower that salary number to entice other teams to claim him, but agreed Friday night to Beckham's request to leave his financial terms intact. making it less likely for him to be claimed. And league sources now believe that it is unlikely that Beckham will be claimed on waivers tomorrow, which means he then will become a free agent, free to sign wherever he wanted. So I set it up for you guys. What team do you see him landing at? Go ahead, big man. What team you think fits OBJ?
It's one of those things when you ask that question, do you look at it just strictly based on skill?
Mm-hmm.
What he can add to a team skill wise.
Yeah.
Then you have to, for him, you have to go somewhere contender. So you're looking at maybe, I would say the Rams, but they played yesterday. But the Rams, somebody like the Rams, somebody like
they ain't gonna be a contender once he gets there.
Well, see, I'm making a difference. I think you look at it from two. They look at 2 points. If you look at it straight up on skill wise, now if you look at it, the total package, then you gotta look at then who wants to take on the diva, who wants to take on the headache, who wants to take on that locker room problem.
Mm-hmm.
So once you add that part into it, then now you really have to rethink: do I want to add him to a team that I'm already either close, or right there? Do I want to bring that in to set us back?
Yeah,
because of the headache that he may bring,
the extra part that
comes with it. So I think that's what complicates it. If you just look at straight out skill wise, any team that's going to be close to it, he would add a good piece to it. Like, it don't make any sense to send him somewhere like the Lions, the Jets, Houston,
team that's not contending,
because that's not going to do him no good or that team any good.
Yeah.
But like I said, going back to the fact, because where he was at just on paper, he was in a good spot.
Yeah.
Because Cleveland wasn't that far.
No.
Arguably some people was picking them to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So now you take that in consideration too, and then say, okay, where else will you put him? How we don't know, he might not cause the same thing once he get to the contender team. So for me, it's really a difficult thing to assess when you look at it in its entirety, in its totality.
Off the top of your head, just what team? What team comes to mind? Like literally off the top of the head.
Some Rams are sticking out.
Okay.
It's another team, but for some reason it's escaping me because I thought about it the other day. I had like 3 or 4 teams in my head.
Yeah.
Right now I can't think, but once y'all talk, something probably kick in my head.
Nick, how you see this situation breaking down for OBJ?
I hope this bitch remains a free agent. He's never made a team that he's been on better. He's a major distraction. The production isn't there to deal with it. The cost to have him, he's going to come in. He's going to be paid more than your receivers that have already been on your roster. And he's not worth it. He doesn't move the win needle. Like, you look at the Browns yesterday. The Browns had an amazing offensive output.
They were just fine without him.
Coincidence that the divisive player is gone, and
I would say this, Nick, not to cut you off, but when you see how the Browns offense worked yesterday, that was the same offense that worked previously without him, period. So on the Browns, losing him really wasn't a bad thing to happen for him.
I think go ahead, Nick, go ahead.
Not at all. And I don't think anyone's going to want to take him at that time. I think the chances of somebody taking him are greater now that those final 2 years are voided, and it is just a rental, and you don't have to take on the final 2 years. It's not a long-term commitment to him. If I do see a team picking him up, it's got to be a team with a veteran coach. It's got to be a team with a strong veteran leadership.
Nick Chubb to end.
It's got to be a team that polices itself. You know what I mean? Like, the Raiders is an awful fucking place. Like, the worst place for him to go.
They bring the police.
Yeah. Like, basically, Mark Davis is just going to have to hire police to be in the locker room at all times now. It's crazy what happens there, man.
But you know what, Nick, though? I think my thing, when you look at OBJ, and I go back to what I was saying originally, skill-wise, the man has skills. I think his attitude his mindset gets in the way of that. And then you add on top of that injuries.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think his injuries really kept him from being what he could have been on top of his mindset.
And that goes with what I was saying, where what you're paying for this player, that encompasses all of it, not just the personality, the production that you get, the headaches that you get, the injury history, the not being able to be on the field. That's all under that umbrella of I don't think it's worth it.
Right.
I really honestly
you
don't.
say what, 7.5 mil?
Teams get desperate. Teams that I could see the Ravens because they need help at wide receiver.
Right.
I could see the Seahawks because you got Russell Wilson and you got a veteran coach in Pete Carroll. I could see the Rams because that would help take off a lot of pressure off of Cup and Woods. You know, just because you got to pay attention to them. The production might not be there, but it's a more reliable threat than Deshaun Jackson at this point, right? Van Jefferson is still not proven. I don't know if Green Bay would do it. I mean, it would be nice to add to Cobb and Adams, but I don't think that he fit. I don't think he's going to choose a small market either. He's been in New York and he owned New York when he was here, right? Even though he didn't win, he was talk every day. And I think he's more about self-promotion and after career now than on the field play. And I don't see him going to Green Bay. I don't see him going to Indy. I don't see him going small market. I see him going L.A. I see him go. Baltimore is not a huge market, but you got the Lamar train there. You can ride, right, and get yourself exposure with that. Like Lamar can score a rushing touchdown, and you'll be dancing next to him, saying, "Hey, look at me! I did something good too." But it's all about self promotion for him, and I think that will be if he hits free agency. That's going to be the biggest part of it for him is where can I start to set up my after football life.
LA is the best place for him then, based on that. Because you look at he was already in the one of the largest market when he was with the Giants.
Yeah.
You know.
And he loved it. He ate that, he ate that up. I'm in that market every day. Odell did this. Odell did that. Odell was at this club. Odell was seen with these people. It was Odell hype, not Odell production.
And that's why I'm gonna read this comment again. And that's why I say LA will probably be his next best.
Chargers or Rams.
Yeah, Chargers or Rams.
Yeah.
You know,
coach to be.
Well, I'm saying as far as like for Ordell, where Ordell wants to go. Let me say that. Let me say it like that.
Okay.
Better fit far as where he should go, probably be more of the Rams than the Chargers.
Yeah.
But I'm saying
and now you got to go with the dad too. If you're the organization, all right, Odell was enough as it is. Now we got to worry about what his father's going to fucking do.
Mel said, I got two comments. It said, Nick Chubb goes down. The Browns struggle. Nick Chubb's come back. The Browns play well. It's a good game. Had nothing to do with OBJ's departure. Then he said, Odell did zero self-promotion while in Cleveland. That's low-hanging fruit. Take that only matches OBJ's 5 years ago. OBJ in Green Bay sounds good to me. We spoke about that. But go ahead.
No, because I wanted to say, because like the reason why I wanted to read that piece is because he will go unclaimed. Yeah. Nobody's going to take on that 7.25 million and knowing that we just got him for 8-9 games. Nobody's going to take that. So
there's no team that comes to mind that really, really needs him right now to take on it.
Yeah. And that's why
he might sit for a little bit. Like you might have to wait 3 weeks.
He's going to
for
sit.
Like an injury to happen, you know?
Right.
And then
you know why he's going to sit, Nick?
They make a move.
You know why he's going to sit is because he will go unclaimed, and so that makes him available to negotiate a contract. He's going to have a dollar figure in mind, and teams are going to have another one. Right. And a majority of those teams, their dollar figure is going to be way below for what he thinks he wants. And that's why I think he's going to sit for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Because at that point, after Tuesday, he's fair game for anybody to go get and negotiate a contract. But nobody is going to make him a well-paid wide receiver unless they see him part of the future plans. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you have to be cross all your T's, dot all your I's to make sure that he fits your future
But
plans.
I don't think.
But here's the thing, too.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Teams that are contenders now might fall off. And I see him not committing too early because of this the selfishness, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's going to wait it out and narrow those teams down small and small. You know, as the field narrows down, his options narrow down. And I don't see him going and committing to a team. Patriots pop into mind, right? Patriots 5-4, they're on a winning streak.
Right.
Those next 6 games, I think they got the Bills twice, the Browns, the Titans, the Falcons, and the Colts. They could lose 4 out of 6. So I don't see him going to a team that could fall off. I see him waiting it out and joining a team that's a playoff lock. Like I could see it waiting till after Thanksgiving weekend, and then he joins them for December push.
And I get that point right there, but at that late in the season, what would be the point of adding
an injury on a playoff team?
It'll have to be an injury because you're talking about a guy that you got to bring so up to speed on your whole offensive, mindset of what you guys do in the offense. And I get that, you could probably just tell him, hey, just run a slant, run a hook, run a go route. You could easily say that and he'll get it done. But when you're talking about building chemistry with a quarterback, I mean, damn, Patrick Mahomes has chemistry with Travis Kelce, and they're off right now. So, building chemistry is nothing.
Get into them.
You
might want to take the headset off when I do it.
So you're talking about building something that takes months to do, of getting in a rhythm with your quarterback. And if he didn't even have the patience with Baker, and I get we all have our knocks on Baker, but with yesterday, the Browns
he looked pretty good. He looked pretty good throwing that deep ball to Peoples-Jones yesterday. That one was
we'll see. But
come on.
They had the run game.
Had the run game going. Nick Chubb was going off yesterday. Cincinnati couldn't do nothing with Nick Chubb. So everything fell perfectly for Cleveland for what they do.
Defense
get the running
well.
Defense played well. Get the running game going. That pick six. Denzel Ward set the tone for that one. So you get Chubb going, and everything that we've all been saying about Baker, of all the perfect storm situations that he needs to succeed, it happened yesterday. And it just so coincidentally happened the week that they had all this drama, and all of a sudden it's for sure that OBJ is not coming back.
Right. Mel said that, he did 0 promotion in Cleveland, but he was in Cleveland.
Yeah. What do you promote?
What you know what I'm saying? It's a small market, so it's not really like
what you promote.
What can he really promote?
He could have tried. We just probably never heard about it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because it's in Cleveland.
Hold on.
Cleveland, but I'm saying
here's something funny to that you and I want to add to this because I saw a report, and matter of fact, it came from Colin Cowherd. I watch every now and then. He says that he has a good friend that lives in LA and he's neighbors to Odell. And he saw him constantly through the season last year.
Right.
So
I heard somebody else say
he didn't promote himself in Cleveland because he wasn't there.
Right.
He was either in LA.
What's up, Ken?
He was either in LA or somewhere else where I think in Miami he has another house or something. Yeah. But it wasn't like Odell was tied to the city of Cleveland.
Right.
I don't think he wanted so bad to get out of New York. He was just like, well, fuck it. Wherever I go, whatever. He was so gun-ho and getting out of New York, and he went to the first place that the team could trade him to, and Cleveland was the first one to take the bait because it was the flashy trade to go get him. It wasn't the most, perfect situation for him to join, or the trade of substance.
Right.
So it was a flashy trade that John Dorsey did. John Dorsey loves flashy players. That's why he brought him in Cleveland.
But what you saying speaks to his last comment. He said OBJ in Green Bay. That's why I don't think he'll go to Green Bay for the same reasons what we all said.
Well, honestly, I actually don't mind that because look at it this way. It's the last dance. Yeah. It's the last dance with Aaron Rodgers and damn sure probably Devontae Adams. Why not? I'm not saying that OBJ tips the scales to the Packers to get to a championship, but
he's going to ride the coattails. Maybe,
of course, that's my point. He's gonna ride a wave of a team that is so successful right now. They have a legitimate chance of making it to the Super Bowl. I can easily see Odell saying, I can be quiet in Green Bay and still fly out to LA when I want to, and keep my mouth shut and just make sure that I ride the wave to a Super Bowl. I can see him doing that.
And he does it as the rental. And then next year he can. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying Kofi said Cleveland got him for a washing machine, and the washing machine still works. But go ahead, Nick.
I could see him waiting on a contender. Maybe somebody gets an injury to a second, third wide receiver, and then he goes and tries to ride a wave to a title this year, before next year going to the bigger market. So I could see him for a short. Listen, if you go on and sign on and say after Thanksgiving, you still got 6 games.
Yeah.
You got time to get ready for the playoffs. You got 6 weeks to work together to learn the playbook, to learn the nuances of the offense. And then
the team just popped into my head.
What's that?
The team just popped into my head. Because Nick brings up a good point. A team that has injuries at that position, bring them in. You look at the Tennessee Titans. Julio's been on and off the field. AJ Brown has been on and off the field. I would look at Tennessee possibly. And
all of a sudden, you got a championship defense there. Like they lost
all of a sudden.
They lost to the Jets and have won 6 in a row since. Like you're looking at this, I'm like, how the fuck did we beat this team? I'm watching the highlights right now on the NFL Network behind. They turned Matthew Stafford into Carson Wentz last night with that horrific interception.
That was a terrible interception. That was a very terrible interception, and especially at that point in the field. And we'll get more in depth on that, but
that defense. I mean, they could be looking at the cream of the crop in the AFC. That's a very good call, Lamar.
I would definitely look at Tennessee, but I've seen rumors they're saying Seattle might be a front runner right now. I don't.
If you're mad about the amount of balls you were getting in Cleveland,
right,
you're going to be behind Metcalf and Lockett.
Yeah,
like. I don't know, man.
It's the same situation. Seattle,
and they're not nowhere near a contender.
Not even close. Not even close.
But see, I get my thing is too, because the point is, by him being in Cleveland, but always spending time in LA, and in Miami, it's the same thing if he goes anywhere but to me besides LA.
I got you.
And like the song said, your body's here, but your mind's on the other side of town.
Yeah.
And it's like the same thing. You're not fully committed.
Yeah.
And you're not fully committed, your player's not gonna be fully committed. And you add on top of that injuries, you add on top of all the other stuff, you're not gonna get great play from him.
Now it's funny you say this because of course his OB senior put his little tape out about Baker not finding OBJ. But I've seen a couple of YouTubers put out some clips of OBJ's time in Cleveland, and it's not like he was playing phenomenal. So we got to play devil's advocate on that situation. He wasn't playing phenomenal. So as much as you want to say that, Baker's missing me wide open and this and that, but there were times when the football was placed right for you to get it, and he dropped it. So we got to keep it 100 when it comes with Odell. As much as you and your father want to shit on Baker, and some of it is granted, some of it is true, some of it is legitimate, but when you're just looking at a situation just with your view and trying to sway people to see it your way, I got to look at it the whole picture. You didn't play so fantastic in Cleveland your damn self. So I
got a good analogy for that. Odell is shit, Baker's the corn, but you're both still in the toilet bowl together. Right? Maybe one of you didn't break down differently, but you're both still sitting in the toilet bowl. By the way, you can tell what I had for dinner yesterday.
That's a good analogy, though. But I mean, so it's like, and it kind of goes back to your point, man. Like, do you want to take on all this? And we all know, we all play sports. When you bring in a kind of, you built this, aura or this chemistry and this situation in your locker room. do you want that in your locker room? Like, especially if you're a contender team, especially this late in the season, you have built that camaraderie within each other and that whole, ride or die for each other,
Right.
a team atmosphere. And then you bring in a guy with the baggage of other antics that comes with him. You're like, I don't know if you really want that in your locker room at this point in time.
And I think that's what I'm really going to
It's got to be able to handle it. You got to have a locker room structure. Like the Jets are the youngest team in the NFL. There's no fucking way the Jets are claiming this guy. But you need to have a veteran coach. You need to have veteran leadership. You need to have a locker room that polices itself and holds people accountable and will approach players of any status or any financial being and be able to tell them, hey, this is not what we do here. This is what we expect of you. And that really narrows it down. Like a veteran team. What are the veteran teams? The Rams.
Here's the issue with
you don't
that.
have that in him to just
the only team that comes to mind that's able to do that. Well, no, I'm saying is able to do what you're saying is the Patriots. They're able to take players that's quote unquote been headaches, problems, and make them work on their team.
And the crazy
thing
thing
is, have that same locker room that they've had. They got a lot of new faces. They're not the locker room. Not the coaching staff has history with it,
right?
But the locker room is fairly new. Like they're getting younger. They got guys who've just come in. The Patriot way is still front office. I don't know if it's locker room based yet.
You don't know if they caught on to it as the players.
I just don't think they've been there long enough. They got a lot of new faces through free agency. They got a lot of young guys through the draft who are coming up. You got a young quarterback. Do you want to put somebody like Odell with a young quarterback? Eli was a veteran quarterback, and the Giants are like, fuck it. We don't even want him here anymore because he's no good for him.
Right.
Whatever he does media-wise may have disappeared in Cleveland. But let's be real. Practice field, locker room, this guy is still the same guy.
Right. So
I think
if you put him on the Rams,
an experienced quarterback is asking for a disaster.
Okay, say you put him on the Rams, how do you think that's going to work out?
I think you got a coach who's respected enough. I think you got a lot of veterans on that team. Woods and Kupp are captains. Stafford's a captain. Donald's there. You got Whitworth on the line. You got Ramsey. Who is a bit of a Odell at corner with the self-promotion. I think
but he isn't a distraction to that locker room. That's the difference that I got to separate Ramsey from
But he's
OBJ.
also an elite player.
Oh, yeah.
So he can get away with some shit because we know this motherfucker's going to ball out on Sunday. He's not a concern in between the lines. He will self-promote. He will say some crazy shit. But that goes back to earlier. What Odell brings to the table might not be worth it in the grand scheme of things.
Kofi said Odell going out like AI.
In Denver? He's going to the Nuggets?
But no, look, wherever he ends up, he needs to take a self-evaluation, which is, the human nature of people, that's a hard thing to do. There's going to have to be some pride swallowing for him to do. There's going to have to be some humbling moments for him to do. And I don't think that's in him to at least
not now,
to humble himself to know when to just shut up and play ball. I don't know if he has that. And so
what does that? Zero teams making a claim does that very quickly. And when your agent's phone isn't blowing up, that's going to be the humble pie moment.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
But
when it's Thanksgiving and you're sitting at home with your dad, like, man, we kind of fucked up, didn't we? That might be the moment.
Hey, but he got what he wanted. You wanted out.
I'm saying. You got to be careful what you wish for in life.
That's what you wish. Right. Careful what you wish for.
Careful what you wish for in life. You might just get it.
And it's Nick, it's funny because I swear me and you just had this conversation the other day. It's like, you're doing all this huffing and puffing to get out of Cleveland, but when you really look at it, and you just kind of said this earlier, Mel, you really weren't in a bad situation. All you really had to do is just shut up,
healthy,
get healthy,
get healthy, and you saw what they could do.
Right.
Just keep quiet, and every now and then when Baker gets you the ball, make the play.
And here's another thing. Speaking to what you said too, think about this: Cleveland had enough players on his team that he could have sat out and got fully healthy, and they still would have been in a good position. He comes back, they add him into the lineup. like they did when they first got him,
Mhm.
you know, coming out with sweeps, reverses,
Yeah.
stuff like that, he'd have been smooth.
He'd have been all right.
Right.
He'd have been all right.
Right?
You know?
Yo, you want to watch
Healthy.
Odell be Odell? Go back last year, watch the Cowboy game. I think he had 150 yards receiving. He had like 70 rushing yards. He had 3 touchdowns, and then he got hurt. And he hasn't been the same player. So he was the best player on that field last year. And I had him for fantasy, so I was paying attention that day. And then he tore his knee or whatever the next week. You look at, and listen, people call me a hater, and I usually deny it. Right now, I will admit I hate stupidity. I hate guys who make it, and I hate guys who ruin what they have going for them. And that's what he's doing. I pray to God Cleveland runs the fucking table and wins the Super Bowl and doesn't lose a fucking game the rest of the season and be like, wow, wonder what happened. When did this shit turn right?
He'll be at home mad as hell.
Kobe has an interesting question. He said, what's the #1 football game of all times? Like, what game would you tell someone to watch that never watched football?
Texas USC national championship.
05? Yeah. That national champ. You know what? That was a good one. You could definitely go Bama Georgia in the national championship. When Tua came
Georgia
in.
blew the lead. When Georgia blew the lead and Tua threw the ball off. Yeah, that's up there.
I would definitely do that. And I'm only going off games of I'm only been on the earth 34 years. So I can only speak.
Kenneth, who said that?
Said we all hate nigga shit.
Is that what he's calling me?
No. He said we all. It should be like a comma. We all hate nigga shit, comma, Nick.
yeah. I'm like, wait a minute.
You know, in comments we don't put punctuation. We just type. We just type. We don't put punctuation.
Ain't no punctuation and shit. But no.
Yeah, I mean, college football is better. Far as I'm speaking of his question.
Yeah.
It's better competitive wise because you can have like a. Let me say it like this. In the NFL, for the most part, in general, the sorry team is going to be sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, this year's a little different, but in general, the sorry team, pretty much going to be sorry. You can pretty much say this team is sorry.
Except
this team's going to win. That's what I say in general.
Except for yesterday.
But in college, sometimes, the upsets happen. You'd be like, we didn't see that coming.
Yeah, because all you got to do is be that better guy for 60 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
And when you look at college, it's more passionate. The crowds are more passionate, right? For the most part, you get to these big games in the NFL, it's all fucking rich people sitting there and just schmoozing and golf clapping, like the crazy passion of college.
Like they showing Paris Hilton yesterday.
I love you too, Ken. Nothing but love, Ken.
I mean
I would rather watch a big time college game, even with the NBA. True. I would rather watch Tennessee Chattanooga against Southwest New Mexico State at 1:00 in the morning before I put like the Lakers and the Knicks on.
But you know what? Those be good games still, though. That's the thing I like about college. You watch Backyard State.
I watch the MAC bowls on Tuesdays and Wednesdays when the MAC conference gets some playing football. They be good games.
I love mac and cheese, bro. I love a MAC bowl too.
You know what I'm saying? But if you watch, but in NFL and the NBA, when two sorry teams playing, you'd be like,
what's the point of even watching?
All right, man, let me find something else.
Yeah, because it's terrible basketball.
It's terrible basketball, terrible football, whatever. But in college, it'd be Backyard State against somebody. It'd be a good game.
Yeah.
If you want to learn about like a crazy thing, you go watch 1988 Notre Dame versus Miami, Catholics versus convicts. If you want to introduce someone to football back in the day, that's something you go watch.
Hey, I will also
professional Super Bowl III, Jets beating the Colts with Joe Willie.
Do they even have film of that? No.
Man, sometimes words hurt, bro. Words hurt.
I would throw in there Boise State and Oklahoma.
That was a good game.
I would throw that in there. I would definitely throw that in there if you have never watched football.
If you want to teach offense to somebody that doesn't understand offense, definitely you put that game on.
But no,
good question.
But crazy weekend of NFL football for sure. When you look at some of these teams that lost yesterday, What's Ken saying?
He said the first time I watched football was OJ and the Broncos.
That's the longest run in football history.
Longest run.
Shit was like 30 miles.
Like, go, Juice, go.
Yo, kid. That's
And
good right there.
The best part of that OJ chase is it interrupted the Knicks and the Rockets NBA Finals. I didn't have to watch the fucking shitty Knicks anymore. Me and my dad were like, holy shit, what is this?
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
What you were saying, sir?
Yeah, I was saying like it's NFL is yesterday is literally like when I said it makes me bring the conspiracy theorists out in me because like I don't know what the hell was up with yesterday. So it started.
Yesterday was the bookmaker get right day.
Bro,
you can tell bookmakers were taking a hit this year. Yesterday was the bookmaker get right day.
We need our money back, goddammit.
Yeah,
we need our money back.
Everybody make the phone calls. We got to get right.
So you had two teams off of buys that were looking good. You got Dallas coming off a bye, and you had Buffalo come off a bye.
Mm-hmm.
And neither one of them.
Dallas wasn't off a bye. They beat Minnesota the week before. They beat Minnesota with the backup quarterback.
Oh yeah. You're right. But it seemed like a buy. It was a buy for Dak.
It was a buy.
It was a buy for Dak. And you saw how he played yesterday. So Dallas literally got blown out the water by Denver. So I didn't see that coming at all.
No, I didn't either.
There was no way.
They didn't score until the game was out of hand. It was 30-0 legit.
Oh no, it was 30-0 for like literally 55 minutes of the game. So it was getting their ass kicked.
Dallas didn't score until they cleared the bench and put the walk-ons in. Another college reference.
Well, because I'm looking at a Denver team. You just traded away your cornerstone in defense, and the defense looked phenomenal yesterday. Your offense had been stagnant pretty much the whole year. Denver has beat nothing but JV teams in Bishop Sycamore. So I'm thinking like, there's no way they have a shot with Dallas. They go into Dallas and they beat them down. So what is this? What do you guys make of Dallas and the Broncos after this result that happened yesterday?
It's an anomaly.
Anomaly?
Yeah. All it is.
Yeah. Okay.
It's everything going right for one team and everything going wrong for the other team. And the odds of that happen, it happens once a year for everybody, right? That's why not many teams go undefeated because you're going to shit the bed once a year.
Right.
And I don't know. You played Teddy Bridgewater as an average quarterback. Is this what the Cowboys are when they finally play decent quarterbacks? Because they've had a very easy schedule. And I'm on record as saying you don't have a prove it to me win. You beat the Chargers. You played with Tampa, who played their worst game of the year, and they still beat you. And then you beat Philly. You beat the Giants.
Yeah.
What's your marquee win? Like, I get it. You're winning your games. You're 6-2.
I'll say this.
You got a good record, but where's the substance?
Hey, Nick, in fantasy, I dumped Dallas's defense yesterday because if you're getting torched by Teddy Bridgewater, I don't know what the hell's going on. So I dumped them, and I put a claims waiver in to get Tennessee's defense ASAP yesterday. So I hope that claim goes through. But you look at Dallas, I agree with y'all. I think it is an anomaly because, Dak has been balling all year. Took the week off because of the calf. Right. And I don't think it was the calf. It was just the time that he missed and not being on the field with CeeDee Lamb. You saw he overthrew him big time on that fourth and seven.
Timing was off.
Timing was off. Timing was just off. So
he wasn't missing that throw in week 4 against the Patriots.
Oh no, not at all. he missed it after a bye week and then being off against Minnesota. So pretty much almost 2 weeks off. That timing is just going to get messed up. And I don't believe that'll continue. Now, what I am worried about with Dallas is that defense. Hence why I put the claims in to get Tennessee in fantasy. Because when you literally just get ran through by that backfield of Denver, Williams went off. And you made Teddy Bridgewater look like Tom Brady yesterday. And I'm not dissing on Teddy. He's an adequate quarterback, but he can he can throw some crazy football sometimes, and he like
yes.
But
have some
yesterday,
crazy
that's
decisions.
Teddy's ceiling, right? Yesterday was Teddy's ceiling.
That was definitely his ceiling. That was definitely.
We've seen some games with his floor, but most time he's counter level. He's even keel.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get those spikes very often, but fuck it, I'm going to enjoy it when you have it. Go Teddy, good job.
So I don't think that defense is starting to worry me, of a defense that, you know, already had question marks going into the season, if they can actually improve. And for their credit, they were doing well the first few weeks of the season, getting turnovers, getting sacks. But now you can throw the ball on them. You may not necessarily have a lot of success running, but you can throw the football around against that defense, and I'm like, oh,
right.
And Diggs is not a shutdown corner.
No, he's not.
Cowboys fans are going, he was opportunistic.
Yeah,
he was giving up 60, 70 yards in the game, but getting a tip pass. 3 of them were tips that just he happened to be in the right place. He's not a shutdown corner. Yeah. He's not eliminating your top receiver. He's been burnt. He got burnt deep in the Patriot game. He got burnt deep yesterday. He's given
Tim
up
Patrick hit him with the double move. Tim Patrick hit him with the double move. Who in their right mind says, "Oh my gosh, Tim Patrick is a top 10 receiver"?
You gotta watch out for Tim.
Gotta watch out for Tim Patrick. He double moved him and left him stuck in cement for a second, and that's all he needed.
And when you play for the pick, you're susceptible to the double move. They know you're going to want to jump it. And
because he likes to jump routes. You're right.
Yes, you're going to see double move after double move because the book is out on you now. You like to jump routes. Okay, we're going to double move your ass, and we're going to embarrass you, and we're going to give up big play after big play because you're not technically sound.
Yeah.
Great athlete. Right, not taking anything away. Great athlete. Opportunistic. Yeah. Yes, he's got the picks. It's a league where interceptions, you know, it's a good stat. He's got the flash, but where's the substance? The substance is you're giving up deep ball after deep ball, and teams are not afraid to throw at you.
Right. Yeah. All right, fellas. So enough Cowboy talk, because I'm getting nauseated in my stomach. But no, hey.
Can I say this one part, though?
Yeah.
I'm tired all the things about the Cowboy fans crying now. Everybody picking on us because we lost it. Let me say something about Cowboy fans.
Do it.
The reason
hit
why
him
people
with it, Mel.
say
Hit him with it, Mel.
Reason why people say so because y'all such assholes when y'all win. Period. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all
always chirping.
Yeah.
Listen, they act like games in September and October are Super Bowls. It's
right,
Victory Monday. We still them boys. Listen,
we them boys. We them boys. Everybody got a video out.
Yeah, win your game and just be like, hey, we won. Move on.
Yeah, you know
and then this drives me insane. Whenever they lose, I'm still going to be a Cowboys fan. No, you're trying to convince us.
We still them boys.
We still them boys, right.
I'm always going to be a Cowboy fan for life.
Everybody picking us because when we lose.
I had 3 people post a picture today on Facebook about win or lose, I'm always going to be a Cowboys fan. Yo, are you trying to convince me or the person in the mirror? Like, the Jets lose all the time. You don't ever see me be like, man, I'm still going to ride with this team. Everyone rides with their team. Like, you don't have to convince us that you're a fan in a loss.
I don't know if it's such thing as a verbal meme, but you see, what's that movie where LL Cool J played God? He called himself God. He was the gangster and
Anaconda.
With Omar Epps, remember? As an deep cover. But anyway,
I know what you're talking about.
But anyway, remember he would have my man on the pool table. Love it, nigga, love it. That's my meme for the Cowboy. When you lose, you taking this broomstick. Love it, nigga, love it.
The views on the show expressed by the gentleman in North Carolina are not those of Dick.
No, that's all male. That's all male.
I'm gonna be sending that meme after the show. Don't
worry. Just to add to Anomaly Sunday, another anomaly that happened yesterday. So down in Jacksonville, in Duval, and the first time we actually. Yeah, I know. I was about to say the first time.
Where is he?
The first time we actually talked good about the Jaguars, Sincere King is nowhere to be found. Right. So, Josh Allen.
Wait, Mel just said "In Too Deep." Is that the name of the movie with the meme that you're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, that's gangster. That's gangster. They named the movie that, and they did that scene.
Yeah.
I hope that shit's on Peacock.
It should be. It's an old movie. It should be.
So to add to Anomaly Sunday, you got Josh Allen getting destroyed by Josh Allen yesterday.
Right.
You'll never hear that again.
That's the first time in history too that a sack happened by the same people, the same name.
So Josh Allen got sacked by Josh Allen. Josh Allen got picked by Josh Allen, and Josh Allen got destroyed by Josh Allen during the whole game.
Right.
Look,
I called it the other day. I said Josh Allen was better than Josh Allen, and
but so like I'm kind of looking at the highlights right now, and Buffalo. Now they did come off a bye. They just looked out of sync. They looked just defeated in every aspect yesterday, and by a Jacksonville team. I mean, Nick, what do you make of this yesterday? Losing 6-9 to the Jaguars, man.
It's always tough to go down when you're up up northeast. I get it all the time with the Jets, the Patriots, the Bills. They go down to Miami. They go later in the year, and that it's tough to go down there and adjust and play. I think anomaly is the perfect word because let's be real. If they play 9 out of 10 times, Buffalo's going to win 9 of those 10. I think this was just the one, and it happens, man. It's not predicted very often, but there's always these games in a season where the bottom team, except Detroit, can come up and nip a good
Thanks,
team.
Nick.
You're welcome, bro. I don't want you. I know you guys lost to the bye week. The bye week. But I mean, listen. Professionals are professionals, right? Sometimes you overlook an opponent. Maybe you don't put as much into your game plan because you think we could show up with our basic shit and beat them. And guys, credit to Jacksonville. You played with passion. You didn't play well. I mean, defensively you did, but your offense is still shit.
Yeah, the offense is still terrible.
Sometimes you need one side of the ball to win it when the other side can't. And I just think 99 times out of 100, Buffalo wins that game. Yesterday was just the one.
It's crazy because I'm looking at the stat sheet yesterday. So Josh Allen, he throws the football. He throws the football 47 times, and he had just as many carries as their running backs. He has 5 carries.
Right.
And Singletary has 6, and Zach Moss has 3. So they definitely abandoned the run in a 6-9 game. So I'm looking at it's just literally a fundamental, simple shit that Buffalo just did wrong yesterday.
I'm going to play the sack. Hold on.
Now, go ahead.
And I don't know if they had a lot of turnovers. I didn't really. I mean, neither team was really in the red zone, so that game never came on too much.
Well, Josh Allen threw. It was 3. So they lost the fumble, and Josh threw 2 interceptions. So you're not running the ball well. You're not sustaining drives. You're having turnovers. You're getting sacked.
You're having trouble with Jacksonville's pass rush.
Yeah, they did. They got sacked 4 times yesterday. 4 times for 35 yards, for a loss of 35 yards. And I'm with you, Nick. It was an anomaly. But when you look at a Buffalo team who was at one point one of the hottest teams in the league, ran off 5 straight, ran into Tennessee, had a bye week, and then you think off a bye week, you're like, oh, man, they're going to get right back to business. And, all of a sudden, they're leaving the door open for New England. They are literally leaving the door open for New England. New England's a half game back.
Nah, with the schedule New England's got coming up. I get what you're saying. But let's be real. Buffalo got exposed. They'll fix everything. And they have the Jets coming up on Sunday. So
wait.
Hey, but hold on. But that's not a shoe-in no more, bro.
Breaking news is that the Jets are not going to rush. This came in just as we started, too. That the Jets are not going to rush Wilson back into playing, and I don't think you can. I hate this obsession that the league has nowadays of we got to play a rookie right away. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Not many rookies are ready to play right away, and you ruin a guy before you create him. If Mike White is your guy, play Mike White. Play him till the wheels fall off. You might have Tom Brady 2.0.
What do you
don't
have to
unless you
lose?
play him.
Yeah.
What do you have to
Say
lose?
again?
And what do they have to lose?
Nothing.
To me, you got a better upside because now you got Wilson sitting down, watching, learning, and developing.
Which is damn near similar to what me and Nick said on the late night show the other night, Thursday night. Is you can't rush Wilson back because, I understand the injury, so you definitely don't want to rush him back because of that. But you also, let him get a chance to see the game in a different view,
right?
Instead of getting his, head stumped in every week because he's been taking some punishment.
Yeah.
So something I said earlier on Jet Blog is sometimes you learn more about the fire being on the outside looking in than you do being in the middle of the fire fighting it.
Yeah.
Right.
There's too much going on. There's too much split decision thinking. You got to be on the outside. Why does the captain or the lieutenant? I watch Chicago Fire, so I'm using this reference. Why did they keep the main decision maker out of the fire? So he can make the right thing from out there.
Yes.
Right? He has a broader scope of everything.
And make the proper decisions.
Right.
You've seen Mike White do it. You saw Josh Johnson come in and throw for 300 in 3 quarters. So you see now you have some weapons. Like I just think it's bad timing for I wish the Jets had the Bills this week where Jacksonville got them instead of Buffalo coming off of that shit the bed game where now they're gonna come out, put up 45 and be like, oh, they got it out of their system now. But with Buffalo, I think there's reason for concern. I think the wagons might have a wheel or two falling off of them this week.
But I think that with Zach Wilson, you guys sometimes it's good to get pulled out of a situation. So I'll tell you a story. These girls, they was in the alley fighting, right? Got jumped. One of the girls just ran.
Yeah. So
while she ran, her girl got her head stumped in, right?
Yeah.
So when she called to her, she said, "Why'd you run?" She said, "Somebody got to live and tell a story." so more to the story. And sometimes you got to pull out so you can live to tell a story. You know what I'm saying?
And that goes for the bedroom as well.
Right. Well, in the bedroom, you pull out so you ain't got to have a story to tell.
I fell twice then. Shit.
I fell 4 times.
But something during the conversation with Jets fans today, I listed them. Brady, Mahomes, Rodgers, Jackson, 4 of the top quarterbacks in the league. None of them played day one.
Yeah.
I'm not saying everyone ends up being like that, but maybe something can be said about guys who don't get thrown in. Not everyone's Herbert and Burrow and light the league on fire. Not everybody comes in. Mark Sanchez brought it up. 2008, Flacco and whoever else got drafted that year.
Matt Ryan.
Yeah, played right away.
Yeah, they did.
That's the demarcation line. Before that, you rested guys unless there was an injury.
Right.
All of a sudden, Flacco and Ryan come out, and then Sanchez comes out in 2009, and he's got to play right away. And ever since then, it's been like, we got to play these guys right away. No, you don't have to play them right away. Look, you're not giving out $72 million contracts anymore. Everything is the rookie wage scale is capped. So it's not like you're saying we're giving this guy $150 million the day he's drafted. He's got to play right away. No, somewhere like Jacksonville, maybe you should have kept the Gardner Minshew a little bit.
Bro, you taking it right out of my mouth because we talked about it the other day because I'm like,
hey, Mel said sometimes you got to pull it out, bro. That's what I did.
Jacksonville, and I'm not saying Jacksonville was going to be, an NFL beater with Gardner Minshew. But even me and Mel talked about it. You look at Gardner's stats, man, he wasn't terrible. He was just on a terrible team. Yeah,
he's serviceable. Made good decisions, got the ball out of his hands. Wasn't a world beater. Wasn't the fastest guy. Didn't have the greatest arm. Good decision maker.
Very good.
Right? They just don't have the talent.
Right.
Yeah. They like I said, he was a decent quarterback on just a terrible team, and Urban quit on him so quick. Like, well, we don't want people to think that there's competition for Trevor because preseason Gardner was like, I know he here, but I ain't trying to play for second fiddle.
I don't blame him.
Which is weird because as we've seen with Urban Meyer this year, there's competition for his heart and other parts of his body. So it's weird that he's not for competition.
I will say this because I did say at the beginning of the year, I can understand the Trevor Lawrence start.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Once you trade Gardner Minshew, of course,
I'm
there's
saying,
no other reason.
I can understand it. Yeah,
Earn it.
I mean, I'm not saying it's right or wrong.
Without competition.
Well, I'm saying like if you look at all the rookies as quarterbacks this year, some that did start, I can understand why they started.
Of course,
you know what I'm saying. I can understand why you start Trevor Lawrence. I can understand it. Well, we can say right or wrong, but I can understand that. Like I think Zach Wilson probably could have sat. We knew that Trevor.
But the Jets also did the same thing Jacksonville did. They got rid. They didn't. They tried to re-sign Flacco. He chose Philly instead because it was closer to home.
Right.
No one knew Mike White could do what Mike White did.
I don't think
he
Mike
was your
White
backup the whole season. I mean, nobody saw him do it on an NFL level.
Right.
So Jets fans were going crazy. We don't have veteran. Ends up, he had a pretty good veteran, but he just never had the experience.
But like Trey Lance, I can understand why, you would sit him because you got Garoppolo. In Chicago, that was an arguable situation there to me.
It don't matter.
It don't matter now. I'm just saying. I'm talking about the beginning of the season.
It never mattered because whoever is wearing a Chicago Bears uniform and is playing quarterback, you are susceptible to getting your head blown off. Because that offensive line ain't gonna block nothing.
Right.
So to me, I take Chicago out of that equation because it don't even matter.
Well, I'm saying I'm talking about from the beginning of the year we looked at it.
I get what you're saying.
Now looking at it now, a whole different story.
I mean, we'll definitely see tonight on whether it matters if it was him or Andy. I mean, it'll be on national stage for everybody to see.
It might be a little bit different because you should be getting Montgomery back tonight, so that's a huge difference maker for that offense because Montgomery. Last 6 games of last year and in the beginning of this, he was that offense,
and he can take some pressure off of.
Big time, big time.
Yeah,
I mean, Trey Lance.
It's huge. It's apples and oranges when you get Montgomery back compared to not having Montgomery.
No, understandable. But what I'm saying is, when you can take some of the pressure off with Montgomery and who is a key addition back to the offense, but regardless, if that running game doesn't get going, and you're asking that shitty ass offensive line to hold up for 3-4 seconds so your quarterback can make the proper reads, it wouldn't have mattered who was back there. Because and Pittsburgh is going to have a field day on passing downs. TJ Watt might walk away with 3-4 sacks tonight because that offensive line is so shoddy. So
there might not be passing downs. Chicago might just do running downs every fucking play. It's either running with a handoff or running with Fields.
30-15, give it to Montgomery.
Hey, you might see 0 passing attempts tonight.
Hey, Chicago might run 100 for 100 of RPO tonight. They might do nothing but straight RPO, which is and honestly, that does play towards Fields' strength, as a quarterback. Now, if Nagy wants to do RPO, then cool, but that's not going to sustain over a season. No, because he's going to get his head torn off.
Yeah,
but Trey Lance, I can make an argument to start him or not because you do have Jimmy G there, who statistically wise, when he does start, they normally win more times than not. But I can see playing Trey because more times than not, you're going to get a Garoppolo injury. So getting him up to speed, to me, is going to be the telling of Kyle Shanahan. Like, get this rookie up to speed because at the drop of a dime, you might go have to play.
I guess my bigger point was more like, from the beginning of the season, you can understand why certain rookies played and why certain didn't play.
Mac Jones had to play.
Mac Jones had to play. There was no. I think there's no getting around that.
Okay.
Like I said, I can see why you would play Trevor Lawrence. Zach Wilson.
Lack of options.
Because he didn't have a lot of options.
Right. Mike White was Mike White. You play Mike White. But you thought you had nothing else because your 2 other backups never played.
Right.
So it's like, okay, we're not going to intimidate. It's like you're fucking babying them. You look at the game plan when you had Zach Wilson compared to the game plan when you have Josh Johnson and Mike White. You're fucking babying this guy, and you're running it into the line on first, running into the line on second. The game plan has evolved the last 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I know the defense got ran over the other day, but when you got to baby a fucking quarterback, he shouldn't be out there. And if you have to change the game plan, if you're going to play Zach Wilson, don't fucking play him. Don't play him until he knows playbook front to back and you're comfortable. You can call any play. If he's got to sit the rest of the year, in my opinion, it's Mike White's team until the wheels fall off. If that's 18 years from now and Mike White goes to have one of the greatest NFL careers in history, so be it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's crazy that you say that.
There is zero shame in sitting Zach Wilson the rest of the season.
No, there's no
learn.
It's funny you say that because I've noticed that when you try to put training wheels on individuals while they're trying to do their job, you're not going to get the best performance out of them.
Man. They smell fear and defenses attack.
Right.
Coordinators will send every. You saw last night. You
Jordan Love. Oh my God.
How many?
I was waiting for us to get to this one. They sent 7 dang on players, bro.
Did you see the Chiefs line up on defense with no safety?
No safety.
I counted at least a dozen times that all 11 guys were within 4 yards of the ball.
They were not.
You got Devontae Adams. You got Randall Cobb. You got guys who can get deep. There's no fear. There was no fear. And Spagnuolo said, finally, I got a game where I don't have to protect my defense. We can send it. When you got to do that in the NFL and you baby down your playbook, you eliminate your chances of winning. And it's
big time.
You're doing a disservice to your organization when you got to do that.
A huge disservice because you do a disservice to your organization because you ultimately you're not going to win. You do a disservice to the players because you're putting them in a box and you're not letting them bloom. You're not letting them blossom. Sometimes it's okay to make mistakes, but if they're learning from it and actually getting better, it helps them with their mental growth in the game of football, and not just the physical part. So, I mean, it's a tough thing to make that decision because, obviously we're not in the front office of a multi-million-dollar franchise and making those decisions. And I think that's what plays a part in some of these decisions is the business money part instead of the football part. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you know what part? Well, you know what is good for business? Winning.
Always
cures it all.
It cures it
Winning
all.
cures all, right? Like you see teams, Jacksonville, their season has been shit, right? I'm sure they celebrated in that locker room yesterday just as much as the Rams or the Packers celebrate after a win. Winning cures a lot of things. And I don't care who lines up a quarterback, man. I don't care. You put anybody out there a quarterback, and if they start to win, I'm going to be good with it because it's been that long for me as a Jet fan.
Yeah. Right. 2 teams yesterday to me stood out.
Okay.
Had injuries to key players, and you're expecting a drop off, and they still go and dominate. So Arizona goes out to San Francisco without Kyler Murray, without DeAndre Hopkins, without AJ Green. I don't, whether you can debate how impactful AJ Green is on their team. But
he still didn't turn around for that fucking pass. He's still standing in that end zone.
He's still standing.
So, yeah, who knows where he is.
But with your all-star quarterback wide receiving combination, not there. And they go to San Francisco, and I'm thinking like, oh, come on, this is San Francisco's game. They got matter of fact, I looked at the NFL pick'em picks yesterday because I was keeping tabs, of course, while the games are ending. And there's a lot of X's on that bitch because of yesterday. But we all picked San Francisco because of that reason right there. Who would have thought Colt McCoy?
I didn't know he was still playing.
I didn't know either. And I'm thinking like, come on.
He didn't know he was still playing.
No. San Francisco's defense, I'm like, yo, they got enough to shut this down, especially without no Kyler, no DeAndre. And Arizona still got the job done. So that's one team that sticks out to my head. And then Tennessee, for what they did to the Rams yesterday. and you lose your bell cow and Derrick Henry. Question marks on Ryan Tannehill is fair. So you're thinking there's no way they're going to LA and beating a team like the Rams, who is on fire right now, 7-1, and they go in there and dominate it. That game wasn't close. I know the score is 28-16, but that game wasn't close at all. They went in there and dominated. Made a Super Bowl contender look very average yesterday.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think of two teams that are losing key players and still finding a way to dominate yesterday? Go ahead, man.
Somebody had a rabbit foot in their pocket.
Remember the keychain?
Right. The keychain. Well, I'm gonna speak on me personally. I just think because if you look at Tennessee's season this year, they kind of been like
they started the season off, real, yeah.
And so I don't know. I'm still not sure they can sustain this for the rest of the season.
But now here's my caveat to this. So last 4 weeks, beat Buffalo, beat Kansas City.
Well, then you add Buffalo losing to Jacksonville.
And I get that, but I think we've all, we're on record saying that's an anomaly.
Okay.
But you beat Buffalo when they were hot. You beat Kansas City, and who else did they beat? Who they beat last week? Can't remember, but they beat the Rams today or yesterday. And let me pull up their schedule because I'm over here brain farting. So they beat the Colts, who were starting to get hot. So 4 quality teams, 4 quality wins in a row.
Right.
And one of them yesterday against a Super Bowl contender, and that's without your bell cow that you got lost for the rest of the regular season. Man, I didn't see this from Tennessee, especially on the defensive side.
Yeah, the defense is surprised because that's one of the things we said. We're not sure about that defense. We're not sure about that defense. They stepped up big time, and you did what was always most quarterbacks' kryptonite. You just frustrate them. You get in their face. You get at them. You rush them. And that's going to just throw off the timing. And if you look at the way, especially the way Stafford plays, timing is key to the way he plays. He 3-step drop, he letting it go. 3-step drop, he letting it go. And then once he get in a rhythm, he's gone.
Yeah.
And if you watch him, I watched him a lot being a Lions fan. So you watch him as he play. When he get those games that he starts off rhythm, it's hard for him to get back on. Now he has had games where he got back on.
Gonna be a long day.
But in general, he get off that rhythm, man. It's hard for him to get back on. When he start off in rhythm, he has a hot, he's hot that whole game.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the key to what Tennessee did. I mean, I think they sacked him 4 times, 5 times.
Last time I saw
Simmons had 3 alone.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Jeffrey Simmons was a beast on his own,
right?
And he would have had a 4th, but Stafford threw that out of the end zone on that easy pick 6.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, 5 sacks for 41 yards of loss.
Yeah. So, I mean, they look good. I still ain't sold on them.
On Titans, still not sold.
Still not sold. I think somewhere down the line they're gonna find a way to lose. Mark my words.
Oh, sure.
It's possible to happen, but I will say this: when they're in that division of the AFC South, they got a 3-game lead on Indy, who's at 4-5. Of course, Jacksonville 2-6, Houston's 1-8. So you're not worried about them. But they've already swept Indy,
right?
So that division is theirs to lose. So I think they definitely still make the playoffs because of of division rules.
They'll make the playoffs,
and they'll easily win that division. So I think what you're saying into it, and my counteract is to this is when you have a significant run of 4 games in a row, and especially against a team who's definitely a Super Bowl contender, and you make them look like nothing. At this point, just go out there and just play ball. It's like that was such an emotional boost for them, especially that I think everybody counted them out once we knew that Derrick Henry was going to be out.
Right.
And they're like, nah, we about to show you what's up. And kind of what we was talking about, Nick, on the late night. We're like, what are we going to see of Tennessee after you lost Derrick Henry? You
Mhm.
got to go to LA, Super Bowl contender. You know, what are you going to put on the field? And they put that on the field.
They did. They put a good game up.
So to me,
That's exactly what I've been waiting to say. What we
that
talked
gives
last
me
week.
more optimism.
Yeah. I'll tell you right now. Like, I call teams out like the Cowboys.
Mhm.
You haven't shown me anything yet, right?
Right.
You lose your best player. And we said last Monday night, I said, who are you going to be? What's your identity going to be now that you're not having the easy job of calling it 28 times to Henry in a game?
Mhm.
You showed me last night that you can go out physical, a very physical football team.
Mhm.
You can still be physically dominant. You can play good defense. You can trust your quarterback not to lose the game for you. You can suffice a running game through a little bit of run, a little bit of screens, a little bit of short passing. I think you're looking at the class of the AFC right now. Last night said to me, we're a legitimate fucking threat. We're a legitimate team. We may have stumbled against the Jets. Yes, I'm going to bring that up. Even if they win the Super Bowl, I'm going to bring that shit up. But you're looking at a team that new offensive coordinator this year after Arthur Smith left. You got a great head coach in Vrabel that guys love. You're starting to see this team take on their coach's identity. Physical, manhandling, power, outman you football. And I love that type of football. I'm an old school guy. I don't like this 4 or 5 wide receiver shit. I like line it up, man on man. I'm going to beat you on defense. You got to beat me when you're on offense. Right. I love that shit. So I think that you saw a team, you starting to use Brown and Jones a little more. They're getting their timing back. Like Jones dropped one yesterday, which was weird. But you could tell the passing game, game hasn't fully clicked yet.
Yeah.
But they are a physical enough team on both sides of the ball that they can compete with anybody except the Jets.
So let's just take a look at their schedule, the last 8 games of the regular season. So next week they got Saints coming into town, which is a winnable game.
Mm-hmm.
But
better than going there. That's a much better atmosphere than
definitely going to New Orleans. And I'll say this: New Orleans surprised me letting that game go against Atlanta, and then we'll speak on that in a second because I think maybe I didn't give enough credit to Atlanta to how they're fighting through this season. So we'll touch on that in a second. But Saints coming in, then they got the Texans coming in the week after that, so that's definitely winnable. They go to New England, which is a toss-up game. Mm-hmm. Jacksonville at home, definitely
that
winnable.
Game's going to tell us a lot, both ways. Tennessee goes in and win that 30-13, or if New England puts up a fight, like that's one of those change the needle type of games. Like it's either going to solidify us or throw shit into flux.
Right.
Then they go to Pittsburgh. We know what Pittsburgh is. 49ers coming to Nashville. I'm done with the 49ers. No, I'm done. I am done. Then they get the Dolphins. So, we see what the Dolphins are right now. And then they finish up the season with the Texans. So they have a very favorable schedule of these last 8 games to run the AFC.
I'd be surprised if they lose more than one.
Oh, I'm not against that because they have a legitimate chance to run the AFC right there.
I could see them 14-3, top seed in the AFC.
I can see them probably the only game that I'm seeing right now that they could possibly lose is that Saints game, just because of what that defense of the Saints brings, because that's a Super Bowl caliber defense. And Trevor Siemian played decent yesterday. He didn't light the world up, but he did enough, and he just didn't do enough to bring the victory. So. Looking at that schedule, man,
it looks very favorable.
It looks pretty damn favorable. So 14-3 is something that's not impossible.
Right.
14-3, maybe 13-4 the most. And that the way that the AFC is going right now, 13-4 definitely might get you a first seed.
You might have the AFC locked up by like December 15th.
Right.
Bro, the AFC is bananas. The AFC is so much parity because we come on this show every week Monday and we like, oh man, look at that team, man. They didn't rip 3-4 off in a row. They look hot. They look unstoppable, and then they lose to Cincinnati or a team middle road or like a Denver or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then you're like, well, damn. Just like Buffalo. I thought they were cream of the crop of the AFC. They go down to Jacksonville and lose 6-9. They were the highest scoring offense.
The Bills might end up being the cream of the crop, right? They are very capable of running the table. They are that good of a team.
Of course.
But it's show me. Show it to me before I believe it. I'm not going to give you the world and praise you until you show me on a consistent basis you're capable of doing that. And right now, I think the Bills got some concerns.
Oh, yeah.
But the Titans winning that game against that team, I'm very, very impressed last night. That was a very big show me win last night.
There are 16 teams in each conference. And literally in the AFC, there are 12 teams right now eligible to make the playoffs. 12 teams. There's only 7 spots. I've never seen so much parity in one conference ever in my life watching football. Literally, Texans, Miami, Jacksonville, and the Jets are the only teams in the AFC not viable for a playoff spot.
Slow your roll, bitch. Slow your roll.
But I'm just saying.
Hold up. You better put Kansas City in there too. Because if you struggled with the Packers yesterday with Jordan Love and no offense, you're in some serious shit too, bro.
Oh, I'm not denying that. But I'm talking about record-wise, record-wise.
There are
12 teams. Mathematically, there are 12 teams eligible for the playoffs in the AFC, and there's only 7 spots. So these last 8 games, or these last 9 weeks of the regular season, to me, is about to be bananas for the AFC. It's about to be I think you're going to see more games for AFC teams that happened yesterday. You're going to see it more common in these last few weeks of the season because even your bottom teams, Miami's still putting up a fight. They're not going to win a lot, but they're still putting up a fight. Jacksonville obviously is going to put up a fight. They're not going to win a lot, but they're going to put up a fight. The Jets are going to put up a damn fight. I mean, that's just their nature is to fight, win or lose. So you go up against some of these bottom teams in the AFC, and you better take them serious.
Oh, yeah.
Especially down this stretch of the regular season. You better take them serious.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, you're going to have your postseason aspirations extinguished if you overlook quickly if you overlook these bottom teams in the AFC. It's fight or flight in the AFC. You got to every team right now, especially the Chiefs. Mm-hmm. It's a week by week scenario. You got to worry about the game you're playing right now,
right? And
you can't look ahead.
So let's talk about the Chiefs game. Let's go ahead.
Can I say one thing real quick about you could tell that John Connor turned into LaDainian Tomlinson in his prime because the fucking guy in the fantasy league who has 1 win the entire season had him jump up and bite me and knock me off last night because John Connor is all of a sudden LT in his prime.
Mel said the NBA got parity too.
Oh, the NBA has hella parity now because you look like at the Western Conference, the power structure used to always be in the West. Mm-hmm. And whether people want to agree with me or not, LeBron had, all those dominant years in the East because the East was the East. You had more of your structured power teams in the West. Mm-hmm. And so that whether y'all agree with me or not, it did help LeBron's path to the finals.
Well, I'm going to say this.
Or deep into the finals.
Because and it's not that I'm not LeBron defender, but I think to be fair, when LeBron was in the East, he was a lot younger. He came to the West, he's older LeBron. So that guy still plays a part in why he's not as dominant as he was when he was in the East.
I'm just saying his dominance in the East was aided because a lot of your power teams were in the West.
Yeah, I get you.
And so he wasn't facing a dominant Spurs franchise in the regular season and in the postseason every year. Right. If he would have faced a dominant Spurs franchise when Popovich had that team literally in the mid 2000s is one of the best franchises in all of basketball.
Right.
If he was facing that every postseason, there's no way he would have had that dominance in the playoffs like that. He was facing a Phil Jackson with Kobe.
Right.
Every regular season and postseason. There's no way he would have had that same dominance in
the Lakers. Look like the convalescent home team.
I don't even want to talk about the Lakers.
That ain't worth talking about.
Any franchise I root for right now is just straight, you don't know.
The Jared Hall Lakers.
Hey, I'm a Net fan, and I don't think there's parity. I think if teams stay healthy, I think we're on a Nets Utah collision course. I think those are the two teams that, if they're healthy, are just going to the finals. I think you can hand them that baton now.
I don't know, Nick.
Man.
Y'all still need some defense on the
Plus,
Nets.
Nuggets
man.
look good.
They haven't been giving up a shit ton of points. Last year, Nets were winning games 143 to 134. They're giving up some games in the low 100s. I know Harden is not marked as a great defender.
He was never
but they
marked
got
as
some
a great
guys
defender.
on the team. They've structured this team really well. Joe Harris is a poor man's Klay Thompson. He shoots open threes. He plays your best guy. He chases him around the court. You got Bruce Brown, who plays good D. You got Aldridge on the inside now. I don't think that.
Said the Kansas City Cheeks.
Come on, man. That's what we're doing?
We'll get back to Kansas City in a minute.
Everybody's going in.
But I'm saying, but look at the East right now. I mean, I know it's still early in the basketball season, but damn it, look how the Washington.
5 in a row.
And I get that, but I'm saying, look at the damn teams who are still right there with the Nets. Miami finally woke up, and they didn't start off slow like they did last year. The Knicks, they give and take. Cleveland's up there at 7-4. Chicago looks good with that new reform team they got with Levine, Lonzo Ball, and DeMar DeRozan. They looking good.
Caruso.
And Caruso. Oh my gosh! I wish the Lakers wouldn't they should have paid Caruso. You pay Caruso. I don't know why you
couldn't. They couldn't pay him. He's not one of LeBron's boys.
They could have put him. They could have paid him. No, what they doing is
LeBron's boys, and LeBron
that's the thing. He is a LeBron boy, but the only problem is LeBron wanted to bring his real homeboys onto the team.
That's what I'm saying. LeBron was like, "No, man, I'm up on vacation with you. You gotta go.
You're not part of the banana boat clique. What are you doing?" But look at what Washington is doing with all the outcasts the Lakers wanted to throw away. They get rid of Russell Westbrook in Washington, and they're 7-3. I know it's early. I know it's too early to write the book on most of these teams in the NBA, but damn it, Washington looks a lot better than the Lakers right now.
Man, shoot, the Washington Generals look better than the Lakers right now.
My son's rec team that I haven't even drafted yet looks better than the Lakers.
Not the Generals, bro.
Shoot, they look better than the Lakers.
Hey, mark my words.
It's still very early, but I think you will see.
It's still very early.
January 1st, you will see. I think a good amount of separation. KD, I love watching KD on a daily basis. I've never really in Oklahoma, and when he was out west, I never really got to see him play much. I'm watching Durant play on a daily basis, man, and every night there's multiple plays where it's just wow, like he just jaw drops, like a move, a jump shot, whatever it is. His ability to score, he's the best scorer that I've seen play since Jordan. Scorer. I love his offensive game. Okay. I'm not saying defensive or anything like that, all around assists. He is a pure scorer, and I don't think we've seen anyone like him since Jordan.
You know what's crazy, Nick? I think Kevin Durant can actually defend, but the thing is, you don't ask him to do it because you want him to be the person on offense.
Playing shitty defense.
Oh,
right.
Of course. It's because you want all of his energy spent on the offensive side. So I don't think enough people give enough credit to Kevin Durant and the defense that he can play. But
the GM for constructing this roster, knowing that we need to bring guys in who are role specific and fit. And you bring in somebody like LaMarcus Aldridge, who's never won Defensive Player of the Year, but he can test around the rim.
I'm just happy LaMarcus is playing because he was worried about that blood clot and that heart issue
he
last
had
year.
To stop playing last year once we acquired him. I think 11 days. The Nets.
I'm just happy to see him on the court.
Right.
Yeah.
So
me too.
Yeah. But hey, y'all better watch out for Golden State. Y'all
gonna get to Golden State. Golden State look like they might be all right this year.
And they doing that without Clay still, who he's getting closer to coming back. Yeah. And I was looking at some of his clips of him working.
And you don't have to rush him now. You don't have to rush him. There's no panic. You don't. There's no panic because you got some guys stepping up and playing nicely in his absence.
Hey, Gary Payton Jr., bro, you saw the posterization that we had on the late night show. Gary Payton Jr. is doing all right for himself.
Right.
He's doing all right for himself. Yeah. Look, Golden State is young. You got your veteran presence in Steph and Draymond, and you know they're 8-1 right now. But I'm telling y'all, NBA world, man, you better hope and pray that you can hang in the game with them, because if Clay get hot, you know you still got Draymond, the energy guy, and you better hope that Clay takes his sweet ass time coming back. Because I'm telling you, Golden State they look like they saying, "Oh, we still them boys. We still them boys."
They say we them boys. We ain't in Dallas.
No, we ain't in Dallas. But
so when they lose, we're gonna have to see Warriors fans saying "ride or die," win or lose. And we all know if things don't go well in Golden State, Draymond Green will kick you in the ding ding.
What Mel say?
Nick is a guy after my own heart.
Hey, look, like we said, it's still early for you know who's going to be the cream of the crop in the NBA.
I know it ain't gonna be the Lakers.
Look, here's my thing with the Lakers. Ever since LeBron got there, they've been letting them have too much range or say so on the roster structure, and they've been letting cats that are fairly young walk out the building, and you're not getting a lot in return.
You got too many old guys. Good point. You got too many old guys on your roster, and you looking at an 82 game stretch with older guys on your roster.
Yeah, and
then on top of that, the way it's structured. You got Russ on there. Yeah, he can score, but then he do a lot of turnovers. Man, he has.
What was that quadruple double the other day?
Oh yeah.
He had like 30 points.
Russell Westbrook, as much as he puts the ball in the basket, he also puts it in the third row.
Right.
So as much as you get out of him, you get negatives too. He becomes
a liability.
Yeah.
He's always been a liability.
You don't get so much out of Dwight Howard. He too busy chasing Bussy. Who else you got on there? You got
Carmelo.
Carmelo,
who's limited.
LeBron ain't constant in out the lineup because he getting hurt so much now.
That's the biggest thing that I wanted to touch.
AD getting hurt all the time.
AD's
you know what I'm saying?
Come on.
Then you got him and
AD is the Garoppolo of the NBA, bro. Come on, man.
Him and Dwight get into it on the sidelines.
Yeah,
they arguing. Silly stuff. You go, on team. They argued. First of all, you take that in the back. You take that in the back. Y'all sell it. You don't sell it out there in front of everybody. No one should see. I'm a big advocate. No one should see any kind of division. We out here. We're a team.
Yeah.
Because
they can still talk it out.
Yeah, without getting to that point.
No, I feel
he all at my man face.
And they pushing each other.
And stuff like that. Talking about, I know they call you Mr. Glass, but I call you Mr. Ass.
I don't like that Badusi, man. Get up off me.
Get off me, man.
Is that another quote from the movie In Too Deep?
No.
I gotta watch this film. I can't wait.
But no, you know what I'm saying? It's too much. You got too much different moving parts that's negative with the Lakers.
Look, the Lakers just
and in
like
the
I
league
said,
where
the structure,
everybody wants to get young and athletic,
right?
You're getting older and methodical.
No, on top of that, look at the team they going up against, Nick.
Yeah, go. You can't match up with the Suns, with Utah, with Golden State. They're gonna fucking run circles around you.
Right.
You're gonna have to play an old school Knicks game of like 92-86. And this day and era, You ain't doing that. It ain't gonna
You're
fly.
not.
You built the team for the wrong era of basketball.
Right. And you got to realize, even though LeBron is young, he still played back during that time because he came in at a young age. So he still has that old school
And he's
mentality.
got 3 or 4 extra seasons on him of playoff games.
And he's trying
I
to
think
bring
he's got
that
240 playoff games.
He's trying to bring that into a new style of play, because he basically running the team. We run the Lakers since he's been there.
Yeah.
So you got that old mentality trying to bring it to a new style of play, and it's just not working.
Well, you seeing, and if Melvin Wall's still in here, I don't know if he'll agree with me on this. He's setting up that team up of what fits around him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Look, I think the main purpose of why they brought in Russell Westbrook is because Russell Westbrook is a mini LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
Same game style, same way of playing the game. And, when LeBron needs to sit on the bench to rest, that's when you say, hey, Russell, go do you.
Mm-hmm.
Or for right now, that LeBron is missing time because of injuries. Hey, we still need somebody that plays similar to me that can still keep the flow going while I rest up.
Right.
And so it's like, to me, this Lakers team, I don't know how long this lasts. They're gonna have to make some choices at the trade deadline of whether we keep this going or blow it up.
Here's another thing you gotta look at.
Right now, Lillard need to blow it up.
LeBron needs to get into his head. He's in the twilight of his career.
Yeah.
He needs to have a team around him where he is not the key focus.
The focus point.
Someone else.
And he's done that. Huh? He's done that. That's why he won he was the assist leader 2 years ago. Something he's never done before, because he knows I don't need to be driving to the basket 15 times a game. I don't need to be taking this beating anymore. But at the same point, why wouldn't you build around young athletic guys who can get to the rim?
Where are the shooters?
Yes.
Where are the shooters?
I love my analogies. I love my analogies. I'm going to say this about LeBron. LeBron is the police officer who at the end of his career wants to pick his partners. He don't want a rookie in the car with him. He wants his boy of 20 years. They've been drinking buddies together. Yo, let's just coast into the sunset. Get these checks. We're not going to rush to any of these emergency calls. We're just going to sit back and fucking chill. We're not doing overtime. We're not doing holidays. We are at the end of the career here.
Right.
But it's cruise control. Like, there's no press. I missed what you guys said, and I know it's probably good.
It ain't what we said. It's always this motherfucker.
What?
Oh, yeah, you motherfucker.
What?
Yeah, you. But no, I mean, look, you are 100% right, nigga.
Right.
We said it, I think, on one of the shows. After they got eliminated by the Suns, what was he talking about? Let's talk about Space Jam 2.
Yeah.
He wasn't talking about anything Laker related.
He was not.
It was you. The writing is on the wall because LeBron is telling you what he's thinking.
I would say this.
5 years ago, he wouldn't have said that, bro.
I don't fault a man for setting himself up.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, he get ready to retire. However,
but you just got bumped out the playoffs and you're already promoting.
However, you have to know when the time and place. There's a time and place for that. Yeah. As soon as you finish losing, get bumped out, you still have your mind on basketball. The season is when it's completely over.
Ended.
When it's completely over, then you can start
the
talking
sweat
about Space Jam.
Hasn't dried yet.
Right. And I think that's the biggest.
He's still
issue.
sweating from the fourth quarter, man.
He's standing there, arms on hips, like, man, you guys believe these fucking film critics? No, motherfucker, the game just ended.
And I think
what did Eben and Roper say about Space Jam 2? What they say?
That make people
what Rotten
question.
Tomatoes say?
That make people question. Okay, though, where's your mind at during the game? Where's your mind at during the season?
That's the bigger point.
And people start thinking about that. If you think about that immediately after you lose, where's your mind at during the season? Then were you thinking about all the stuff you got going on outside of basketball?
Bro, don't be surprised if LeBron takes his time with this injury. I know he said he was going to sit out a week, but before that, he already missed a couple of games.
But see,
don't be surprised if he literally takes into the time management part of basketball.
That goes back
to another level.
That goes back to the issue we were saying earlier. If you built a right team around you, you can take your time to come back healthy.
Yeah.
and then push towards the playoffs.
Yeah.
Where we got to have LeBron. We got LeBron. You know what I'm saying? You got a team that they need you.
Oh, they need him.
They need you.
They need him now.
And some more.
And more.
And more. You know what I'm saying?
They need him and more.
Right. I think like if you had a young team, Melo's okay acquisition. You know, if you had a young team, all the players you added would be an okay outside of Westbrook. Would have been an okay acquisition.
Yeah.
You know,
I still don't get the Westbrook acquisition over Buddy
put
Hield.
all those people on your team that are just like small role players didn't make sense.
Bro, they had the trade in hand. We was doing the show.
Yeah.
Buddy Hield was literally packing his bags to go to LA. And then the general manager of Sacramento was like, hey, buddy, put your shit back up. You ain't going.
Yeah, Buddy Hield would have been nice. Keep Caruso.
Yeah, they should have kept Caruso, man.
Never got Westbrook.
Never.
And I think they'd have been a couple other little small young players. They'd have been okay.
Yeah.
They'd have been all right.
Imagine this team now with LeBron and AD and Kuzma, Ball, Ingram,
right?
And what was the other one you just said? Caruso,
yeah.
That'd have been.
I think that's a better cast than Carmelo and Westbrook.
Everybody on your team is ready for retirement.
Malik Monk, who came out and did nothing in Charlotte.
Right.
Well, he's just gonna go to LA and all of a sudden, be what he was supposed to be.
Gerald Wallace.
I'm gonna be real. I would much rather talk about the Nets' success than the Lakers' failures.
No, look, the Nets are going to be there. The Nets are going to be at the end of the season.
Nick, that's a form for retirement, not win. That's what I said, man. That's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said. Right.
What do you say?
A formula for retirement, not for winning.
Oh,
yeah.
Big time.
They look at their 401k.
Look,
like LeBron wanted to be legitimate to me. Now that you're old, this is when you take your talents to South Beach because everybody goes to Florida to retire.
Right.
You made that move 15 years too early.
But you know what's crazy? And to comment on Melvin's comment talking about this is a formula for retirement, not winning. He already got his championship in the Lakers uniform. That's all he really wanted, was just to get one. Just to say that I was part of Lakers history. The Lakers will always win the championship.
Right.
And me as a Lakers fan, I put an asterisk by that championship anyway.
It's a bubble championship. Nobody really gonna respect that.
Nobody in the streets respects that bubble championship, man. You literally had the regular season almost end a week before they shut it down for the pandemic.
People.
Then you had 3-4 months off before you went to the bubble.
People question.
I just want to go on record as saying I'm not in these streets. I'm in the apartment, and I don't respect it.
Hey, the streets or apartments. Don't nobody respect that bubble championship, man.
But people question the Spurs. They won it during a short season.
Yeah.
There was a lockout.
99.
Yeah,
the 99.
You know what I'm saying?
Beat the Knicks.
They beat the Knicks. They really is gonna question a bubble championship.
Oh yeah.
Because that was more legitimate than a bubble championship.
Oh, of course.
So my thing is like
it's just a shortened season.
It's a short, right?
And this is literally a controlled situation because of a pandemic, but it stopped literally right before the regular season ended. So you got 3-4 months to rest an aging LeBron, a very unproven, durable person in AD.
Right.
So you had the chance to take the things that you need when it comes to health and being actually available, and you made it easier for the Lakers to get that because of that 3-month layoff.
Right.
Before you went to the bubble.
Right.
And we know damn well that these players being in the bubble, NBA players are not at their best when they don't have their hose, and they couldn't get their hose when they were in the bubble. And the only teams that were sneaking them in were getting W's. So there's something to that.
No. LeBron and them was knocking off Rachel Nichols, man. See, he had some.
Hey, man, I said this a long time ago. Rachel Nichols was a jump off. I've been saying that for years.
She been the jump off.
I've been saying that for years. She the jump off.
Football too, because years ago she started off doing the Giants games on the sideline, and she was there with Strahan and Tuck back when she had that crazy widow's peak.
She got
that
kids.
magically disappeared.
She got kids look like the United Nations.
I heard if you hook up with I heard if you hook up with Rachel Nichols before you go in, you got to pay admission because you're about to enter the Hall of Fame. Because there are many, many stars have been there.
Hey, bro, I'm telling you. Hey, LeBron and
they call
them.
that coochie the Milky Way. All them stars up in there.
Shoot, Jimmy Butler was in there knocking her all. But
everybody.
He was in there. She was in the bubble. Yeah.
Yo,
she was the bubble.
The widow. You remember when she first came out? She had that crazy widow's
peak.
They must have pulled that hair so hard from behind. That shit came out. It's gone.
It fixed her hairline.
It's gone.
It fixed her hairline.
Big stupid. He said fix the widow's peak.
Google Rachel Nichols when she first started, and she's got a nasty. The boy from the Munsters, Eddie Munster.
Oh yeah, Eddie Munster.
He had a nasty looking widow.
She did.
All of a sudden, man, she got dipped in a few times. Shit was straight across, like she got faded out.
Nah, she was hanging with LeBron's barber, so I don't know.
LeBron.
Oh my God.
But yeah, man, so I just want to say that Lamar think he's slick. We was talking about the Chiefs and he switched to his basketball talk. I just want to say.
Oh, I switched to basketball talk?
Someone made a comment about Patterson.
I know, I'm just joking with Lamar.
Listen, I love to shit on Lamar, but I'm not going to do it unnecessarily.
Yeah, let me earn that shit, goddammit.
Yeah. There's rules to this shit.
Yeah, rules to this shit. Now, before we get too deep into this Chiefs-Packers game, I got to say this.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at Aaron Rodgers in this situation, he was very selfish in deceiving the NFL of being vaccinated or not, and that changed the way that he went about his daily routine. Because he was walking around unmasked, participating in everything, and it really didn't raise an issue until he got popped.
Right.
So that was a very selfish move on his part. And if I'm a team that's probably in the quarterback lottery next year, of course you take a stab at trying to get Aaron Rodgers, but you still want to look at how does it affect your chemistry in the locker room, because that's a very selfish move.
Yeah.
What if this cost the Packers a game?
Right.
Well, it did yesterday.
Well, I'm saying, but I guess to more of a bigger point. And they didn't find out until after he played, and then the other team gets it, and somebody, that cost you to forfeit the game.
Yeah.
So he probably better for Jordan Love anyway. But just saying.
So I wanted to speak on the Aaron Rodgers part,
mm-hmm.
and when it comes to the Jordan Love part, boy, it makes
said it all. That said it all. That sound that you made. That sound that you made encompassed everything we could say.
You literally faced a defense that made sure that they played man coverage pretty much majority of the game. They blitzed the hell out you.
Sending extra guys. They were just doing that. We don't respect you. That was the we don't respect you defense. Prove it to us.
Right.
The safeties were nowhere close back. They were at the line of scrimmage for a majority of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So that
they were lining up in the backfield next to the running back.
Right.
Anyway. Might as well not run. And just
might as well cut out the middle man.
This move for the general manager was it Gooden Hoots? I can't remember his name.
I think it was something like 11 days.
For him to go rogue and trade up to go get Jordan Love. And you see that performance yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I get it was his first career start, but what have you learned anything sitting behind Aaron for the last year and a half? Have you learned anything?
Yeah, get vaccinated.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right. Not immunized.
Not immunized, yeah.
But for the most part, those two words mean the same thing.
I get you, but that move of him going rogue and drafting Jordan Love to trade up to go get Jordan Love, you could have got Jordan Love in the 4th round. You should lose your job for that.
Oh yeah, especially after that performance.
Because
years end.
It wasn't anything missing on the offense but Aaron Rodgers.
That's it.
And so you got, the same offensive line that's been in front of Aaron Rodgers, the same receivers that Aaron Rodgers been throwing to. And so you just swapped them out because of boneheadedness from Aaron Rodgers, and you put that out.
Mm-hmm.
you should lose your job.
You should.
You will.
There's no way.
He will.
He's definitely going to lose it because.
And Aaron Rodgers did two things yesterday. He made himself a lock candidate for the MVP because you see how valuable that offense was without him.
Right. Yes.
And he made himself a shit ton of money because the new GM, who deserves, in my opinion, to be out after this, is going to come in and pay Rodgers whatever the fuck he wants to stay. Because you know the minute you lose Aaron Rodgers, you go into looking like the Jacksonville Jaguars and the New York Jets. No matter how much talent you have everywhere else, without the catalyst. And here's another thing. The Green Bay Packers, go fuck yourselves. Because those are the fucking seats that you let Jordan Love's mom and wife get.
They were in nosebleed.
Family wasn't there. You couldn't have put them in a suite. Right. You know, Rodgers' girlfriend, he doesn't bring his family, but his fucking fiance gets good seats. You could, she wasn't at that game without him. Why the fuck you put them in the last row of the stadium? I sat in the last row of the stadium.
They were in the nosebleeds, because I've been to Arrowhead many times, and sitting up there, and in November, it's cold as fuck. It is cold as shit.
They were closer to God than they were Jordan Love.
Hallelujah. Bro,
they must not have been praying.
So let's be honest. The Jordan Love experience is not off to a good start. It makes that GM looks very foolish. It makes him look very undeserving of a GM job forever. I will give credit to Green Bay's defense. I will give them more respect on how well they played, not just this week, but over the season. They played well against Arizona. They've been playing well in other games.
They have been great.
Right.
They have been lights out. And that defense this is the defense that Aaron Rodgers needs on that team. If he had this defense perform like they are now last year, they're in the Super Bowl, not Tampa Bay, easily. But
if they had Bakhtiari, if they had somebody to protect and block JPP.
True. But this is the formula right here. I will still look out for the Packers as a top contender, obviously. But man, you're right, Nick. It showed how valuable Aaron Rodgers is to that franchise. Not just that offense, that franchise. Because and I know that Packers defense is good, but are you going to be able to rely on them for 16, 17 games in a playoff run with lackluster offense that Jordan Love has brought yesterday?
Oh no,
that's a lot to ask for.
That's not a formula for winning.
Not at all.
Not at all.
I say all the time. You look at 2008 with Tom Brady. Tom Brady got hurt the first play of the game or first quarter against Kansas City. Matt Castle finishes the season and goes 11-5 as a starter. Or 11-4 because they lost that first game to Kansas City.
No. They end up winning that. He goes 10. Matt Castle went 10-4.
So then he's 10-5 as a starter.
Yes.
So the argument was, is Brady a system QB? You know, granted they lost the playoffs on a tiebreaker.
Right.
But to win 10, 11 games in the NFL after your main quarterback gets hurt raises the red flag.
Right.
You can't say Rodgers is a system QB. After watching yesterday against one of the worst performing defenses in the NFL, you could say Aaron Rodgers is the system, which showed clearly. I'm going to flip it real quick.
Go ahead.
The interview with Patrick Mahomes. And if you guys are at work, you might want to turn the volume down if you're listening because I'm about to go in pretty hard.
I heard about it, but I didn't listen to
interview. This Kermit sounding motherfucker. Man, our defense fucking played great. And all our offense stuff. Bro, if Aaron Rodgers played, you lose that fucking game 40-13. And your snowball downhill is the size of Earth today. So don't act like you guys accomplished something. Your offense looked like shit. You barely fucking beat a game with the worst quarterback performance I've seen in a very long time in a scheme where all 11 guys were up at the line because you didn't trust the quarterback to throw the ball. And you can't win by 17-23. You won by 6. I think there's more trouble in Kansas City because you squeaked by the Giants Monday night 20-17.
Should have lost.
You squeaked by Green Bay 13-7. to 7. Shit is
And it should have
really bad in Kansas City.
They
Like
should have
the
scored.
Green Bay situation, Aaron Rodgers is coming back. Like he looked bad in week 1. They lost to the Saints. They didn't lose again till this. They lost their second one. They're not fucking losing again the rest of the season. This team is going to be on a mission, and Rodgers is going to be on a mission. And I think this week put the league on notice of who the best team is. And I think in the NFC, I'm looking at the Packers, and I'm shit scared to play the Packers.
Fair.
But
fair.
there is major fucking trouble in Kansas City. Whether it's coaching, whether it's the quarterback got exposed,
it's a combination of both.
He can't make it's bad,
it's
man.
Bad.
It's
bad.
You're getting lucky.
There's no way to really say no. It is bad. Patrick Mahomes, he's taking a huge regression this year, and it's not one game, it's not 2 games. It's been pretty much take out the Cleveland game. Cleveland was the only game that he actually looked like Patrick Mahomes. Every other game he's played this year, turnovers. Wait, hold on. I give him credit. He didn't throw an interception yesterday. That's the only positive yesterday.
They didn't have any penalties yesterday, did they?
No, they
got one at the end.
They had some, but
no, that's because that one. I know I was watching the 4th quarter.
Yeah, but that's the league coming in saying there's no way we're letting the Packers win this game after this
with no Aaron Rodgers.
But I want to say, like, when I was watching that game,
now they had 6 for 33, which is
just
good for them.
Not everybody has Mike White as a backup. This is a very difficult league to play.
Oh my God!
Not everybody's got the golden goose. Not everyone's got the golden goose, man. Nobody can come in and throw for 400 yards after never playing.
But remember what I said, Nick, on the late night show? I would threaten Mahomes with the bench. I still don't think you bench him for Chad Henne, but I would at least in practice be like, bro, it's a possibility it could happen.
$500 million bench warmer, bro. That's pretty fucking. That would be insane.
No, but I'm saying it's not going to happen. But I'm saying his performance is not up to par. It's not. Period. So I would at least like, hey man, Chad Henne, get some of these first team reps in practice. Not all of them. Not maybe.
Who's the backup?
Chad Henne. Not necessarily.
Okay, you glitched. I didn't hear it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, not necessarily half the reps in practice, but I would at least start, scaling back some of those reps from Patrick and be like, look, bro, you got it. Because here's one thing, and you guys heard me all about the issues with Kansas. There is some coaching issues. Still some of the play calling with Andy Reid or Eric Bieniemy. I don't know who's calling it. It's not clicking.
Right.
It's not clicking. But there's also parts that the player's responsibility. Travis Kelce dropping footballs. McCole Hardman dropping footballs. Tyreek Hill on a reverse, which is still stupid. You don't call it reverse in that point where you got momentum. So that goes back to the play calling part because they get good drives and then they kill it with a dumbass trick play.
Right.
So that's part of that. But Mahomes, if you look at some of the things that he was doing yesterday, he had at least 3 or 4 instances that I can remember that Travis Kelce had open field right in front of him, and he's trying to force it to Tyreek Hill, or he's trying to force it somewhere else. So there's shared responsibility in this offense that used to be so high potent. That's not. It's shared responsibility.
It went from an offense to awfulness.
Yeah,
it's very. And we said this, I think, after one of the first late night shows we did. Andy Reid and Bieniemy and Mahomes, go sit down, look at the Alex Smith offense film.
Yeah.
Alex Smith was not the flashiest quarterback, but the dude had substance. He got the ball out. They ran a better system. They weren't all about sprinters going downfield 30 yards. You don't have an offense that's working doing that.
I'm going to tell you this.
Figure out an offense on the short end.
So, Nick, I sent you the clip of last week's of the offensive line dominating. Baldy's breakdown. And he showed that the offensive line is built for running the football. Yeah. It's built for running the football. So, Darrell Williams, he actually got majority of the carries, 19 carries, 70 yards. Not bad for a running back. But Derek Gore, who came out of nowhere and lit it up against the Giants last week, only gets 3 carries. You have to feed these running backs.
They're better to run too quick anyway.
But
I'm saying when they do run the ball, they run it like a little bit.
They abandon it. Yes, that's
only
Andy
run
Reid.
it because their receivers are tired and they got to give them a break from all the routes downfield. Like, let's be real. Like, I'm saying it kind of sarcastically, but when you look at this, they don't have a run game plan. It's like, these guys are tired. We should run one just to let them rest.
Bro, like some of the decisions they was making, man. When it was 4th and 1, I understand they had everybody up on the line. If you're playing a defense that's saying, okay, we go all in, I would have double teamed Devontae Adams. You only had to get 1 yard. I would have double teamed him. I said, you're gonna have to beat up somebody else. You knew he was going to him.
Yeah.
You know, and then one was Sorensen.
I called my man like he's doing a zig. He's gonna step in and he's gonna go right out to the sideline.
I knew it. And then like when Lazard got the touchdown.
Bro, don't
come on, bro.
Come
How
on.
You first of all,
didn't I tell you don't bring up Dan Sorensen's name around me no more?
My man,
that sorry son of a bitch.
Right now,
to be fair, you brought it up. He never said it.
No, he just said it.
He just said Lazard touchdown.
You know,
I feel like sometimes I got to be the mediator with you guys. Like if I ever come to the studio, there's gonna be like bulletproof glass in between you two.
It was just like
look like a hockey rink,
right? It was idiotic plays like that, man. I was like, come on, man. Bro, it should have been. Green Bay should have had 0.
Green Bay shouldn't have scored.
They shouldn't have scored at all.
The way that off and
at the very least 3.
The blocked field goal and the missed field goal didn't help. But look, man,
that's the game. That's a tie game, right? They make those. That's a tie ball game. Like who would have thought? As awful as the Packers looked, they still could have tied the game with 2 kicks.
Right.
Yeah. And it's funny. It's funny because like in this mix of chaos going on with the Chiefs, the defense is looking better than the offense the last few weeks. The defense is looking better than the offense. And the defense
you had the Giants. Let's reel that in. Like your opponents matter.
Yeah,
too.
but come on, but Nick, you're talking about look at the big thing. The first thing you think of was what you think is going to be an issue with the Kansas City Chiefs. You're automatically going to think the defense. That's not the case no more. That's what I'm saying. The defense has been showing up to the football games, and the offense is still trying to figure out whatever the fuck's wrong, and they still look horrible. I would have never thought to this day. Though.
You got Jordan Love, who looked like he's not ready to be an NFL quarterback, and you got Daniel Jones. So it's not like you're beating Brady 2017 and the defense balled out.
Oh, no,
you're playing
I get that.
Shitty quarterback play
no.
It is a little
You're
bit
not wrong. You are not wrong. Look, what did we talk about when we found out that Aaron Rodgers was not going to play? I was like, oh shit, we got a chance now.
Right.
Lucky Charms, right? You had your Lucky Charms that day.
I was like, oh shit, we got a chance now. So look, I'm not oblivious to the fact if Aaron Rodgers was there yesterday and he actually got he got vaxxed instead of immunized. That's a blowout. We get it. I know that. But damn it, this damn offense, in particular Mahomes, in particular Andy Reid or whoever's the play calling, who you can normally count on to actually be the things that makes you better, you're making this team worse. And it's baffling. It's crazy. I don't have no more words. Real quick, how do you guys see Monday night Pittsburgh and Chicago? I'm expecting the snooze fest. I think it's going to be a very defensive game.
You took the words out of my mouth. People who haven't been able to sleep all weekend, this game may cure insomnia tonight. Right? There are going to be a lot of people waking up like, fuck, man, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm on the chair.
Yeah, this is going to be a snooze fest.
I started streaming Ray Donovan on Peacock, so I'm going to be into Ray Donovan tonight. I'll check this game out on some scores.
I'm waiting for Peaky Blinders to get back because I just finished it last week. So I'm waiting for them to come back.
I didn't like the last season. I didn't like the final season that's streaming on Netflix.
Peaky Blinders.
I gotta check that out.
Nah, Peaky Blinders is good. Already finished Narcos Mexico. I finished that right when it came out Friday. So I'm kind of out of Netflix shows to watch. So I guess I'm a channel surf tonight while this Monday Night Football game is going on. So I don't know.
Do you have Peacock?
Oh yeah, I got Peacock.
Yeah. Somebody told me Yellowstone.
Yeah,
everybody's been telling me about Yellowstone. I just haven't started it yet.
I started the first episode yesterday, and then when it paused and then it timed out, it went back to the main menu, and I saw Ray Donovan was available. I go, fuck Yellowstone. I'm going back to Ray Donovan. So it's going to be my third time watching Ray Donovan through.
Damn. I actually fell off on Ray Donovan like middle through the series, but I might pick it back up now that I got a snooze fest of a Monday Night Football game. But look, oh man, great show today. Great show today. Of course, we always bring the laughter, the joy, and the foolishness. So great show today, fellas. That's going to be our show today. Episode 102 is in the books. Other topics we didn't even get to because we were just having so much fun and just letting the conversation flow. But we'll try to get to them on Thursday. So please come back, kick it with us again Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, Twitter, whatever.
Well, Twitter now.
Yeah, Twitter. So definitely come in again, like, share, subscribe, hit that bell notification. It'll let you know when we're coming on. And come in and join the conversation. Shout out to everybody that hopped in the conversation, chopped it up with us. But it's your boy Wildcard Mar, of course, Detroit Mel over there, and all the way out in New Jersey, Nick, Big Nick, our Nicka.
Bye, guys.
It's been real, y'all. We will check you guys out again Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you don't get enough of I.O. Sports, come join myself tonight. I'm not sure if Nick will be there.
Hit me up. I was just about to say, hit me up tonight. I'm good.
All right, word. So look, it's been real, y'all. Check it out later. Peace.
Later, boys.
All right, bro.